welcome back to a cloudy, overcast Djerba.
Right now is just an empty beach.
Plan B will be to find a bar.
Oh, what's her name or his name? Prince.
His name. Just look
name.
underneath, you'll be able to see. Cheers. Saha. Good morning and welcome back to a cloudy, overcast Djerba Island here in Tunisia after a day chilling out at the resort, laying on the beach. We have decided to explore everything this island has to offer, and we only have one day to explore the entirety of the largest island in all of North Africa. So we've decided to rent a taxi for a day. I'm not driving the taxi, we are getting a taxi driver, a local driver, to take us to all the best spots on the island for 120 dinars, so £30 for the whole day. And apparently all the taxi drivers in Djerba are like tour guides, so he's gonna have all the facts for me, take me to all the best spots, all the best beaches, all the best restaurants. It's time to explore this desert island. We were just walking to meet our taxi driver.
Oh my gosh.
And we've discovered the native duck of Djerba.
Oh my god, there are so many. You got ducks, you got cockerels, you got chickens.
It's a real bird fest.
Yeah, what is going on?
I think I know why them ducks were there. There is a specialised Asian restaurant in the hotel. I'm sorry, Timmy.
Hello. Good morning.
Nice
Hi,
to meet you.
nice to meet you. I'm Matt. What's your name?
Lotfi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. We have met our taxi and our guide, Comfy, I think that's how I say it, and he's taken us to our first stop, which is actually the most popular beach of Sidi Mahrez. Now I know it doesn't look it, because a lot of the hotels, the big hotels, are closed. The weather's not the best right now, and therefore no one's chilling at the beach. But it is a huge, long stretch of beach.
We need to use our imagination.
Yes.
In the summer, there's going to be camels, there's going to be horses, there's going to be crystal clear water, there's going to be people sunbathing,
We've
there's
got
going to be
bars,
bars,
restaurants, but right now is just an empty beach.
The plan was to come here and go for a swim, to sunbathe for an hour or so, because the weather today is actually 25 degrees. It's just really cloudy and extremely windy. So the plan B will be to find a bar that is open on the beach for a quick beer, and then we can carry on our tour of the island. London. From London. So your horse?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very beautiful.
Yeah, come catch.
No, I'm okay. Thank you.
You're afraid of horses?
Are you afraid?
Yeah, I'm scared of horses.
Give it a stroke, Molly.
I'll catch you.
They're a little bit unpredictable. Where do you
put
stroke?
your- Here. Yeah.
Oh, what's her name or his name?
Prince.
Prince.
Like
His name. Just
His
look
name.
underneath, you'll be able to see.
He's a
It's
man.
big enough.
He's a man.
Bye-bye.
That is so cool. It's like cowboys on the beach. How funny is that? He's not just any cowboy though. He did actually tell us where the bars were. Apparently there is one just after the boats here. So,
He
to
said
the
apart
bar.
from this one and one back this way,
Yeah, they're all
the whole
closed.
of the tourist beach is closed. We've wandered in and found a bar, but there's just no one here.
There's no workers, nothing. I just want a drink.
If you want something,
Yes,
I can help you.
please.
Can we get 2 Celtia? You have Celtia?
2 Celtia.
Yes,
Yes,
please.
please.
Thank you.
The butter?
Cheers.
Saha.
Saha, we will find beer absolutely anywhere. Everything is closed on the beach. We thought this was closed. This is Bar de Vin, but Fatma came to the rescue. 2 ice cold Celtia for 6 dinar each, £1.50. Cowboy's running around behind me. He's the one that directed us here.
We have to say thanks to the cowboy.
Perfect. Where do we go next, Godfrey?
We can do around for the castle from Souks.
Yeah, perfect.
After we have the pot. After we have Djerba Hood.
Perfect.
Amazing. Sounds good.
Gazi, Mustafa. The castle is on the sea, on the water, around with water for the security, of course.
Our second stop is Gazi Mustafa Tower, which is actually the fortress that was protecting the town, the main town of Souks, and it dates back to the 13th century. And I don't know if you can hear in the background, but there are flamingos everywhere. Flamingos out at sea. They're basically protecting the fort from God knows what, but there are so many flamingos around us right now. Can you hear it?
I didn't know flamingos made this much noise. This is the closest I've ever been. I've seen flamingos from a distance, but I've never got probably 50 meters away from like 200 beautifully pink flamingos. Unfortunately, we can't go into the fortress today because it's Friday and it's closed. So if you are going to come, don't come on a Friday like ourselves, but come and check out. You're probably not going to be able to see them, but there is so many flamingos out here. There is just so many of them.
I can't believe the noise that they make. The other thing is that you know when like you see flamingos on paintings or drawings, they're always like super pink. These are very pale, but when their feathers come up, they're like fluorescent pink. And it feels so surreal that this was like a... We're quite lucky that we've just managed to come down here.
And then the fortress is closed.
And we were like, oh. But then you get surrounded by flamingos, so makes up for it.
I'd definitely take flamingos over a fortress anyway. And after about a 5-minute walk from that area, you get to the main Medina of Souk, which is the main town on the island of Djerba. I think the island has just over 100,000 people, and this is where the majority of them live. And it's like any other Medina. For some reason, all the Medinas seem to be blue and white, and I always seem to be wearing a blue top when in them, but you've got everything. You've got your souvenirs, restaurants, street food. This has got to be the least chaotic Medina you will ever find.
It's relatively quiet. Some of the shops are closed, but there doesn't seem to be any hassling, any shouting. It's very calm.
It's like an island life Medina.
We've accidentally stumbled across one of the biggest souvenir shops I have ever seen. It's built in like a traditional Dar-shaped house. It's like got this beautiful courtyard and there's absolutely everything. I can't take everything back with us though.
We're literally on the hunt for a magnet.
We need a magnet and we need some postcards. We've even been given a shopping basket for all of our purchases, some postcards and a magnet.
Thank you, Aishik. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. That's probably one of the nicest old towns and Medinas that we have been to. Very happy with our purchases, but we've come into a restaurant at Sofra, which is just outside of the Medina, and it's kind of like an old workshop type thing. We've got all these old tools everywhere, and we've got a bogo. We've got this, I'm going to miss this actually. I'm going to miss this bogo, not sure. It's the Tunisian Sprite, and we have a couscous on the way, and we have a meshouia salad. It was difficult because everything is in French and we have grade 0 French.
All of our purchases actually only came to £3.50 dinar, so less than £1 for like 5 postcards, and a magnet. And can we just appreciate this postcard with the gangster camels that you only find in Djerba?
That we call aja in Arabic. Oja.
Oja.
Yes, it's tomato sauce, and we put an egg with it.
Amazing. And this one?
This is a Djerban specialty that we call sharmoula. It's a sauce made with onion and tomato.
Sharmoula, and lastly we have
harissa.
Of course.
Thank you very much. I'm not going to remember any of the names of these, but we have some Tunisian and Djerban specialities. This is a Djerba speciality, which I've got to try really. It's onions and a sauce.
We have keftaji, we remember that.
We have keftaji, we've remembered that. It's really sweet, like caramelised onions in a sauce. Wow, that's a Djerban speciality for you.
Tunisians really do know how to bring out a starter, a salad. There's 5 plates.
5 whole plates. One thing about Tunisia is they are feeders. They absolutely love to feed you. Look at this portion of this couscous. Top tip, only get 1 main meal because you'll be full for a long time.
Are you bought a couscous yet? I don't know. I might slowly be getting there.
They all do it differently. That's like super sweet. It's got huge chunks of potato, onion, big chickpeas, and a huge chili pepper that Matt is definitely gonna be eating.
If you weren't looking for that place, you wouldn't know it was there. It was basically in like an old traditional workshop, and for I think we had what 6 dishes in the end. It came to 38 dinar, so 10 English pounds. We just now need to find our taxi and head to, I don't even know where. We're just being taken wherever. So now we go to Djerba Hood?
Yes, yes. The Hood of Djerba.
We have made it to the mean streets of Djerba Hood. This place has actually been made famous because in 2014 there was a gallery and like a street art festival that took off, and now this village is just covered absolutely everywhere with graffiti, with street art, with murals. It isn't the hood that you think of. I love this one, the baby turtle hatching from the egg. Makes sense being that we're so close to the beach. It's full of all these really nice villas and houses that you can stay in, and there's just street art everywhere.
There's not much information on any of them, so you kind of have to interpret it in your own way, what the pieces are. But it just makes the white walls look completely different to anywhere else we've seen in Tunisia.
Like this one here, you've got the battle, you've got the lions, all chasing the warrior on his camel. I wouldn't fancy fighting a lion on a camel. I love it, they're literally everywhere. And this one looks just like a Banksy. This feels like something that you would find in Mexico. The tiny little alleys, the colourful streets, they have completely transformed what was just a desert island into this becoming tourist hotspot. There's so many nice accommodations you can stay in, there's galleries, there's restaurants. I mean, if I came to Djerba again, I think I would choose to stay in this village. This has to be my favourite one. I have no idea what it means. Maybe the tortoise is carrying the weight of the world on its back. We have left the modernness, the hipness of Djerba Hood, and our driver Lotfi has taken us to Galela. So Galela is, they have a touristy centre, which is basically where all the pottery is made. But before we go there, we've been taken in to this little Berber village just outside of the main town, and we're going to get shown how they make the pottery by a real Berber man. He said in the town, maybe you'll get Chinese Berber, but here, you get real Berber. You can't get any more local than this.
This is the real traditional way that they make pottery, and I don't know how old this is, but it's like a little mud, wooden, underground pottery making house.
We need to go and watch.
I'm so excited to see. So how long has he been making pottery for?
قديش عندك تو في الفخار عملها سنة؟
30 سنة.
30 years.
And what is his name?
His name is Mr. Salem.
Mr. Salem has been doing it for a very long time.
And this is his workshop.
This is his workshop. Nothing is done by machinery in here. It's done by his hands, by his feet. It's just really, really cool. Very traditional.
So what is the difference here for the traditional way of doing it compared to in the town?
Traditionally here you can use this natural, but on the town you can use it for ceramica. A lot of ceramic come from outside Djerba, from Nabil. I don't know where is the place, but here fabric with hand.
So this is the real Berber way.
Yes.
And everything's made in Djerba.
Yes, from Djerba. Can use it here from Djerba.
Shukran, thank you. Bye bye. That was so interesting. So everything that he makes is made for locals. It's not really for sale for tourists. You wouldn't know it was here. We were pulling down this tiny little road with this donkey in the front garden. I was like, where are we going? But this is the traditional Berber way of doing it. We are going to go and check out the main town, but of course you'll probably get in a bit of Chinese Berber.
So they put all the pots from in there, here?
Yeah, that's maybe 200, 300 here.
For us?
For us!
Oh, thank you so much.
Look at that! How sweet is that? We have our very own pot.
We actually decided to skip the fake Chinese Berber pottery, and we've headed to Godfrey's favourite part of the island. Possibly the most beautiful part, the most romantic part, the part he said you would take all the Berber women. I mean, if you were a Berber woman, or if a local Berber woman wanted to go on a date with me, I think I'd take her here.
This is the Sidi Yati Mosque. It's the mosque by the sea. It is white. It is slightly untraditional, I would say, for what you would think a mosque would look like. And it looks like it's been made out of like clay, out of mud, and then painted white. But it's just this big white building overlooking the sea. It's very picturesque.
Godfrey, you think this is a good spot, like romantic spot? This, like if you took a Berber lady, you would come to this spot, right?
Reasonable.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, my
Next
friend.
time, inshallah.
Inshallah.
And the call, excuse me, I speak.
What a day. We have just made it back to the hotel, and I am going to miss Godfrey. He is a man with an amazing voice. He actually sung to us in the mosque there at the end, and a man with a huge love for the for the Berber women. We were also given a pot to take home from the pottery Berber man, but there's absolutely no way that this is going to go in my case. Look at it, it's amazing. Traditional, not Chinese, but I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to leave it here as a present to the island of Djerba. We also stopped off at the olive press on the way back. So most of this process is actually done by hand. There's only one machine behind us. The rest of it, they press themselves. Have you got a new job, Molly?
So these are the guys that make all the olives. Look, they're covered in olive oil and they wanted a photo. We are literally walking in olives right now.
It was just fascinating. It was like going back 500 years. The traditions there have completely remained the same, and my trainers are now covered in olives. But I feel like that is the best way to see this island. Get a driver for the day. It only costs 120 dinar, £30, and we've pretty much seen everything this island has to offer. An island I would highly recommend. Remember, this has an international airport and you can get here from quite a few European cities, but it is our last evening, our last night. Tomorrow we are embarking on one final incredibly long journey. Maybe I should bring my Berber pot for the journey. It's going to be a long one. Hopefully we'll see you somewhere in the Sahara Desert.